If you're new to gardening, or even if you've been doing it for years or even decades, it can seem like a dizzying array of thousands of discrete tasks and just way too much separate information to hold in your head at once. To make matters worse, it's often taught as if it were 1,000 pieces of information inside of hundreds of discrete tasks, which is difficult and demoralizing for everyone. Watching this play out in the gardening world just breaks my heart, because I see gardeners all the time who are overwhelmed or feeling unsuccessful or not as good as they want to be. And a lot of them give up because they think they just can't do it. And maybe you're even one of those gardeners. Come to think you can't do it. Maybe you've even given up, and that's a damn shame, because gardening doesn't have to be difficult. It never had to be. It can actually be quite simple and surprisingly easy, and it's all connected. And you can most definitely do it. Everyone can. If you have the desire, you can learn the skills. Anyone can learn the skills. It's something you can easily do. Yes, even you. Judd Lefebvre here with Green Thumb Gardening Secrets, where we're trying to reforge the generational chain of knowledge that connects people to their food and all the other wonderful joys of gardening. And it's not that hard, especially if you simplify it to what really matters. And what really matters is not a litany of disease and pest information. It's your plant's biggest needs for optimum growth, health, and productivity. That's where you start. It's the most important thing. That means the biggest skill you can gain is to stop looking at your garden from your own perspective and start looking at it from your plant's perspectives. Seeing your garden from your plant's perspectives is the #1 biggest difference between highly successful gardeners and people who struggle to succeed. It's the absolute line of demarcation between veteran gardeners, who are really just gardeners who are successful, and people who seem or feel like neophytes or newbies, even though maybe they've been doing it for years. I've watched gardeners' friends who struggled for years until they finally started seeing their garden in this way and started seeing their garden from their garden plant's perspectives. And they became like old-time veteran gardeners and were seen that way by everyone else in just a couple of years because they're so effective. That's all it takes, just that quick switch. Looking at everything you do in your garden from your plant's perspectives is the absolute biggest secret held in common by every great and highly successful gardener, and was so obviously and glaringly absent from every gardener who struggles. And the more a gardener embraces this perspective, the better they are. So if you have the passion to grow fruits and vegetables but have always struggled, or have always wanted to but have felt overwhelmed by the challenge, or even if you've been gardening for a long time but want to become better at it, start thinking about everything you do in terms of what your plants most need, and your garden will explode in growth, health, and production. So if you've wanted to get started but haven't because you just felt it's too complicated, or if you become frustrated with gardening but the passion for it still burns in your soul, or if you've given up on gardening because you found it overwhelming and thinking you just had a brown thumb, but you still long to do it, you can do it. Everyone can. It's not that hard. I'll show you it can actually even be easy. And even if you've been doing it for 30 years and have been successful, this focus will make you so much better. You'll be the gardener you always wanted to be, and be prepared to always stay open to growing. You can find more on this topic and others on my website. I'll leave a link in the description below. Like this video if you liked it. Likes really help us out. Leave a question or comment below. I personally answer each one, and subscribe to get all of our future videos. And if social media is your jam, feel free to follow us on Twitter and Instagram for more Green Thumb gardening secrets, tips, and tricks. Just the tips.